Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at True Believers Empyre Anelle issue 1. This is a 2020 reprint of Fantastic Four number 37 from the 1961 series, and it finds Johnny Storm and the Thing getting ready for a rehearsal for Reed and Sue's wedding. But Reed is also working on a project for this power amplifier, and it's a handheld power ray. Sue unfortunately wants to get revenge for her father's death at the hands of the Skrulls, which I believe was in issue 32. But the Skrulls have their own stuff going on. Morat is plotting. He wants to overthrow the king. He's also trying to marry the king's daughter, who has mixed feelings because she sees his cruelty but loves him anyway. So the Fantastic Four heads off into space to try and find the person responsible for the death of Sue's father, which happens to be Morat. And when they get to the Kree homeworld, they realize their powers don't quite work the same there. So they have very, very limited time to use their powers, and that ends up getting them caught by Morat, who is keeping them prisoner. And he was supposed to tell the king, but he didn't. And Anelle decides that she should do it, thinking that Morat had already done it anyway, so she offhandedly mentions it, and that leads to some complications. Meanwhile, Reed figures out a way to trick the Skrulls while seeming to betray his own team, and things go crazy, and somebody dies. But because Sue was able to help Anelle, the king decides to let them go and offers them a boon, but it becomes a moot point and they end up having to go home. This issue was written by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, inked by Chic Stone, and lettered by Artie Simek. And overall, the art does hold up pretty well. There's some great use of the 4-color because printing techniques back then were very, very primitive, so they had to really use basically just 4 colors and some general blending, and it all had to be largely done by hand because computers didn't exist on the level we have now, obviously. So the art does hold up really well. It is very colorful, but a few of the pages look like Kirby was cutting some corners, probably due to time constraints. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. There's some really good panels in here that look really, really cool, and the technology looks really fun. So overall, I thought it was a really fun story. It's a bit dated, especially the way they talk. There's a lot of like idioms and cultural references that we don't use now, so I think younger readers may have a little trouble with that, but it's definitely an all ages book. It's clearly aimed at like middle school or elementary kids, but I don't think it'd be a problem for anyone. And I thought the story was actually pretty fun, very fast paced, lots of action, and some really fun story ideas. But again, there are dated elements to this, but kids aren't going to really care that much. It'll just be the conversational tone, and some of the cultural references might be lost on them. And that's one of the risks you take when you make pop culture references. And unfortunately, a lot of Silver Age books do that. So yeah, solid recommendation. I thought it was a fun story, and this is way cheaper buying a copy of this than it is to get the original of Fantastic Four 37. So if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars to read a story, then this is a definite alternative. And if you could pick this up for less than the price of a new issue, I would say absolutely go for it. I pulled this out of a dollar bin, and it's in great shape. And originally it was $1, so I got real good money's worth, especially because it's the same low quality paper they use on the regular $4 books. So you're not really risking much here, and it's far more entertaining than almost all of modern Marvel. So go check this out if you're looking for a fun Fantastic Four story that you can enjoy and the kids can enjoy. This will be right up that alley. So give it a shot, see what you think. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.